moving on to soccer. I'm Ariz, and I'm joined with Kevin. And even despite the controversy with the World Cup, it starts this Sunday versus Qatar versus Ecuador. It should be an interesting start to the tournament. But who are you rooting for the rest of the
I
tournament?
mean, naturally, as a natural-born American, I gotta. Even though I'm African, I'm rooting for all African teams, of course. But for specifically, I'm rooting for the U.S. men's national team. Fun fact: Greg Berhalter actually graduated from my alma mater, St. Benedict's Prep in Newark, New Jersey. He was just inducted to the Hall of Fame there. Hopefully,
Nice.
he can bring the United States past the round of 16 because they haven't been past that in a very long time. I feel like they have a bunch of young players. This is one of the most talented crop of players they've had in a very
Yeah.
long time. The issue is they seem to be a little vanilla. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They're just feel like teams tend to bully them a lot, and they're not able to hold strong against strong defenses and overcoming attack. Hopefully, they're able to do well. They have a tough group with England
Yep.
and Wales.
Of
You
course.
want to touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, you have England that's going on a high despite their loss in the Euro final. But I mean, USA is like a young team, so they obviously want to prove something. But you have Wales that you never know what Bale's gonna do, right? So
Yeah.
you just have to be aware of that. And then I mean, I'm rooting for Mexico, so I'm on the same boat as you are. We're just kind of just riding the waves here, just seeing what the coaching is
Yeah.
gonna be like, and I mean, just defend, and hopefully we get through that round. But it's gonna be a tough one for us.
Yeah, I feel like the World Cup, especially for like every country, is like a time for everybody to be excited and come together and
Yes.
see a celebration of everything. And when your team does bad, the celebration really ends very quickly.
Oh yes.
So let's move on from that.
So moving on to the top teams, going in first we have France, who won the previous World Cup. How do you think they'll do? I'm kind of iffy on this one.
They didn't do too well at the Euros.
Yeah.
Um, they left in the round of 16, losing to Switzerland
Yeah.
after being up 2 goals and conceding two in like the last 5 minutes. It was kind of ridiculous. But I
I
actually
agree.
think this French team is one of the most ridiculous teams I've ever seen in my entire life. With Kylian Mbappe, Karim Benzema, Ousmane
Yes.
Dembele, Antoine Griezmann, all up front, and then you have a plethora of defenders. Almost every
Yep.
defender on that squad would probably start for all the other teams. So that's why I really think France is gonna be in the final. Yeah, I think gonna be able to overcome all the injuries with Christopher Nkunku being injured
Mhm.
today, Pogba and N'Golo Kante not playing. Those are big misses for that team, as Pogba and Kante has been their starting midfield
Yeah.
for the last 6 years. But I also think France is just too stacked.
Yeah, they do. They do have a good, talented team. So I'll agree with that. But I don't know if they're gonna make the final. I don't think so. I'm gonna go for Argentina making the final. It's possibly gonna be Messi's last World Cup. But I mean, Messi's literally the goat. So I I'm a Barcelona fan, and I hate that he just doesn't play there anymore. But Messi's been doing really well with PSG right now, and
Hmm.
so has Neymar, right? And Kylian Mbappe, you mentioned him. But I think Messi is gonna want that last win, at least to end his World Cup appearances.
Yeah, I think Argentina is a very interesting team. I think they're still a team that revolves around Lionel Messi, and I think that's actually going to work to their detriment at the World Cup because Lionel Messi is
Interesting.
not the same player that he was before, even though he is still arguably the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi, he has a bad track record in the knockout stages of the World Cup, so I'm not entirely sure that they'll be able to hold out on that. But I will touch on the the final that we'd all like to see. We would love to see Argentina versus Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo. This
Of
also might
course.
be his final World Cup. If you want to touch on more of the players they have.
I mean, yeah, Portugal. It's a team to be reckoned with. I mean, definitely, you never know. They have a good mix of like you mentioned Ronaldo, right? You have a good vet leading them, and then you have Jao Felix right behind him. That's literally a prodigy. Like he's just so good. So I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see Portugal versus Argentina. It'd be a great clash of legends, right? And
It would end the GOAT debate forever. Whoever wins that
who's
game is the
better?
GOAT.
Yes. And then Netherlands. I mean, we mentioned young players, right? Netherlands is one of those teams. They have Simmons, Frankie John, and then leaders like Van Dijk. So I honestly think Netherlands are gonna they should pass to the round of 16, right? But I don't know. I feel like they're those teams that you just never know if they're gonna bring their A game or just sit out.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. My take is really kind of based on the fact that the United States is in Group B. But I don't think the Netherlands are gonna top that group. I don't think they're gonna do well. Hopefully they don't end up playing the United States in round of 16 if the United States is able to get in the top two. But yeah, the Netherlands have a very inconsistent team. Memphis Depay is
Yeah.
not playing as many games as Lewandowski plays for Barcelona. He starts. I think the miss of Gini Wijnaldum, he's also a very big leader for
Yes.
that team. I think they're really going to miss him. And I think they just don't have enough quality. I don't think De Jong has had one of his best years. He's been good, but Barcelona seems to be like they're moving on from him at this point. And
Yeah.
and Virgil van Dijk is having one of the worst seasons he's had in a very long time. So I don't think the Netherlands are going to do that great. But moving on to another team that I'm not entirely sure about, England. The English national team has been good. I have no faith in their coach. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
I think they're a team that completely relies on set pieces. They don't
Okay.
really get a lot of their work in open play. I think Harry Kane is an overrated player for their
Oof.
national team because he was top scorer of the last World Cup for them, but he scored like 4 penalties.
But I mean, the Euros was a really good tournament for him. So
Yeah.
I honestly think Harry Kane's gonna score a couple goals and definitely lead them into that round of 16, and hopefully we'll have the U.S. beat them if they make it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the goal. And